It was surprising, in a way, Ollie being an aquatic creature by nature. But this was the first time the city had called him because there was a water-based monster. Well, they weren't even really sure it was a monster. What they were sure of is that coming up the harbor, with no apparent desire to heed to law enforcement, was an enormous floating pillow cat. Just a big, poofy pillow with a cat face and cat ears and little cat arms floating up the harbor. It had come, well, they weren't sure. They'd noticed it when it was still out of the inner harbor, kind of near the Key Bridge. That's when authorities first noticed this thing coming up the shipping channel. They were guessing that maybe it was inflated quickly somewhere around there, some kind of compressed gas or something. They'd gotten kind of close to it with boats, and they couldn't tell how it was being controlled. They'd poked it. They weren't sure it was meant to do any harm, so they hadn't really tried to shoot it down. But they couldn't seem to reach it by radio. They couldn't see any kind of control office or, cockpit or anything. It looked for all the world like a giant stuffed cat plushie, but floating. It was shiny. It wasn't fluffy, like fuzzy texture exactly. It was shiny like a boat would be shiny, or like a big balloon would be shiny. It was a very strange thing. They had told Ollie also that it seemed to be, it moved like a boat. Like it wasn't blowing around in the wind. It would turn at the appropriate times, and it would have headings that seemed to be following. It was going in more or less straight lines. Which if it was just some big balloon that was blowing up the harbor, it shouldn't do that. Well, Ollie got downtown. And then they got him on a police boat. And the chief of police was there, and also the county has like an aquatic police division, and they were there too. Said, "Ollie, it seemed like your kind of area. Giant, strange, menacing thing, but also the water." I said, "Yeah." "So you've tried hailing it at the radio, no response." "Yep." "If you tried, other more aggressive warnings?" "Well, we shot a flare gun at it. It just bounced off. Didn't seem to do anything. Didn't change its behavior at all. At this point, though, at the rate it's going, in another half an hour, 45 minutes, it'll be into the inner part of the harbor, likely to do some damage. It looks like it's light, and it seems to be inflated, but something that big is still going to be able to wreck boats and piers and break windows and stuff." Well, they got there. Well, they all got there. They're all on the boat together. And it was strange. It was bigger even than, a container ship. Very, very large. They got right up next to it, and Ollie also poked it with a stick. It had some give. It was a thicker material, it felt like to Ollie, than a balloon, or a normal balloon anyway. But it did poke in a little bit. It had some give. The chief of police said, "We wanted to call in as close as we could get to an expert. No offense, but who can be an expert in this?" "Oh, no, Ollie, I appreciate it." "No, oh, no," Ollie said. "I appreciate it. I appreciate you thinking of me as an expert." Do you think it? I'm going to get on it, I think. If you tried shooting it with, regular bullets? Well, no, not yet. We weren't sure. I wanted to see what you thought. Let me see what it looks like on top. first. Because judging by the texture on the surface, I'm pretty sure I can climb this thing easily. Okay, here, let me give you a radio. Yeah. Is it waterproof? Yeah. Wait, radio is waterproof. Ollie had brought along his waterproof fanny pack, which is a good way for him to carry things. So he clipped the radio to the belt and started climbing. Just reached out to his arms and got hold of the suckers and started making his way up. Man, that's weird looking. Heard that. Sorry. But Ollie wasn't actually bothered because he recognized that it was pretty strange looking. An octopus scaling the side of a giant inflatable cat, which Ollie done some reading, and it's apparently a character from a kids show. Gabby's Dollhouse or some such thing. But in the show, it was tiny. Here, it was enormous. Ollie's first thought was maybe there's something at the face area. So he got up there first, but it seemed to be just painted on. So he went over and checked the ears. And there he could see some heavy-duty stitching. And some rivets as well. Still not a whole lot of clues. There wasn't like a port or anything. So they climbed up to the top. It was big. He didn't want to spend too much time. He reached into his bag and he got his binoculars. He looked up and down on the top of it. He'd gotten to kind of the high point on the top of the head. And it all just looked like one continuous sheet. There was kind of a seam down the middle. But it wasn't like there was a door. So I climbed back down the side, hopped in and swam back to the boat. Popped up from the side and okay, there you are. Hi. What'd you find? A whole lot of nothing. All the angles I saw, it looks no new information. It seems to be inflated. The face is just painted on. I couldn't find a door there anywhere. I think you've got two options. I think you could try shooting it, but that might be dangerous. Because if that skin is bulletproof, who knows where that bullet's going to end up. Yeah, I was worried about that. Or I could try going underneath, seeing if there are any clues on the bottom side. Oh, that's a good idea, but you be careful. There's got to be a propelling system, some sort of motors or jets or turbines down there. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I can usually, it's got to be big. It won't sneak up on me. But I'm going to leave the radio and my fanny pack here. But I'm going to take this headlamp. I picked up a headlamp and kind of strapped it on. I'll be back in 10 minutes, Ollie said. With that, he jumped in. Went underneath. He started right at the front, right in the middle. Now, in a water like the Baltimore Harbor, it's not a lot of visibility. Ollie, being an octopus, has a bit of a different range of wavelengths of light that he can see relative to humans. He can see a little bit better, even in cloudy water, than a person can. But still, he had to be within 2 feet or so to really be able to see properly. So it's kind of a slow process. He's looking and looking and looking for clues, looking for structural features, looking for anything. He'd gotten about a third of the way there when he realized that he'd been gone for about 7 minutes. So he swam back quickly, said, "Nothing so far. I'm going to need another 20 minutes. Just stay right here, if you don't mind." I said, "Yeah, do your thing." It seems to have slowed down. It's not moving as quickly. Maybe it knows that we're here. I don't know exactly, but yeah, you got some time, I think. So I went back down and he kept looking. This time he swam straight to the back to start. He swam quickly to the back because he was looking for the propulsion system. And about 10 feet in, at the bottom, close to the center, he did find an outlet, like a water jet, a big water jet, like the size of a house big. It was pumping out a bunch of water. Ollie thought he might be able to swim upstream hard enough, but it was risky. So he surveyed some more areas. He found what appeared to be a rudder, the thing it was using to steer. It's kind of a structure built into where this outlet tube met up with the rest of the body. Ollie couldn't move it with just, the strength of him pushing against it, but it did seem like it would move and change the way that the outlet tube was pointing. So there's some hard mechanical stuff in there, Ollie said. It's not just a big inflatable. All right. I'm going to try it. I strapped the headlamp on a little tighter, went to the outlet tube, turned it at the max brightness, and pushed himself in. At first he tried to just swim against the current, but it was too strong. So he glommed onto the bottom side of it and curled his way up. He was listening, and he was looking to make sure he didn't bump into any propellers or something. As he got, 15 feet inside the tube, he spotted it. He could see the propeller. But there was a clearing. There was a space where he could be clear of the propeller, get past the propeller, and into whatever the real structure was inside. So carefully, 1 foot at a time, he snuck his way down under the clearing, and he realized as he got close to it that he would need to suck on especially hard to the surface, because when he passed the propeller, then instead of pushing against him, the current would suck him toward the propeller, which, would be very bad. But luckily he thought of that ahead of time, and he could feel it start to pull as he got past, but he was strong enough to hold on to the side. Made his way up and out of the current, and in along until he found a steel surface. He climbed up the side of the steel surface, and there, finally, he could see what was going on. Inside was a weird little boat, and welded to the sides of the boat with these long metal spines. And the spines were sewed into the bottom structure of a big, giant balloon. It was huge. It was just totally empty inside. The boat itself was about as big as a minivan. And it had a control cabin up front. And there were some chains and ropes and stuff. And there were 4 really big gas canisters that Ollie guessed must be what filled the thing. He turned off the headlamp, but it was too late. He'd already been noticed, and a person came running out. He said, wait, I come in peace. I don't know, how'd you get in here? No one's supposed to be able to get in. Oh, you're not a person. You're not a human, That's right, I'm an octopus. The city's got an octopus. So what's your game? What are you doing here? What's with the big inflatable cat thing? I don't have a plan. I built this. They said it was impossible. And I wanted to prove them wrong. Who is they? My uncle and my sister and their neighbor, Frank. Frank is such a jerk. Okay, so you've built a giant balloon boat to prove your sister and uncle and your sister's neighbor wrong. Yeah. They bet that I couldn't even build it at all. I told them that I would build it and drive it all the way to the inner harbor. And they laughed at me. But who's laughing now? I'm not sure anyone's laughing right now. Oh, everyone's pretty scared this might be some sort of monster or terrorist attack or something sinister. Oh, geez, you're right. That hadn't even occurred to me. Okay. In that case, time to see if the last part of my design works. What I'm hoping is a deflate the giant cat design. Exactly. Safest for you if you come inside here. All right, but before I do that, what's your name? Oh, Alan. Alan Smithy. Engineer. Boat designer. Dirigible pilot. Okay, Alan. All right, you know what? Fine, I'll trust you. They both went into the cockpit. There, Alan opened up a little cover, and inside was a big blue button. He said, "You ready?" I guess so, said Ollie. And he pressed the blue button. And there was a big sucking sound. And a big mechanical sound. And as Ollie looked, the whole structure started to shrink and fold in on itself. It was remarkable. I thought that if you deflated it, it would just collapse into a big, unwieldy mess. But it actually folded in on itself like origami in a very orderly fashion. It takes longer to bring it down than it does to pump it up, because to pump it up, I use the compressed gas. But to deflate it, I'm just using vents and pumps. So, it'll be a minute. How do we get off? Oh, that's the best part. Give it a minute. It's going to be so cool, you wouldn't believe it. So Ollie waited patiently as this thing shrunk in around him. The spine started to retract. We're not moving anymore, Ollie said, right? Oh, yeah, stop the engines. We're just sitting here. Kind of wish I brought my radio. Oh, radio. I've got a radio. What do you on radio? Oh, well, the police are outside. Oh. Here. He handed Ollie a radio. Ollie had to turn it to the right channel. So this is Ollie the Octopus. I'm inside. Ollie, you're okay? The whole thing's collapsing. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm with the owner. He surrenders. You surrender, right? I suppose I need to, yes. Yes, I will surrender. Yeah, it's all good. Well, I'll let him explain it, but it should all fold in. I think we're going to be all right. About then, I heard a rubbing sound. Oh, okay, here, check this out. Oh, this is actually the hardest part. Making it unfold, relatively easy. Making it fold, that's the hard part. Let's see if it works. As that face got closer, it caught on 2 points on the edge of the cockpit, and it started to stretch and stretch until the nose that was seemed to be painted on started to turn clear. And as it stretched, the whole thing, the whole mouth area covered the whole cockpit. And then you could see through it. You could see outside. You could see the rest of the structure folding in behind him. Amazingly, the whole thing, when it was all folded and put away, was only about the size of a delivery truck. But how do we get out? Ollie said. Through the top. The guy had to be pulled up. There was a big panel at the top that he loosened with 2 wing nuts. And then in the top, there was a big, heavy zipper and some Velcro. This took a bit to make sure it wouldn't leak. I had to get that. Zipper itself was like $300. Anyway, he unzipped and I climbed out. I climbed out with him. The police were there like, Sir, I'm afraid you're under arrest, but thanks for deflating the crazy thing. Yeah, sure, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause trouble. I, uh, I, well, I was trying to prove my sister and my uncle and their neighbor wrong that I could do it. Sorry, sir, we believe you that you come in peace, but can we park this thing and talk about it on land? We're probably still gonna have to arrest you. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Ollie, you alright? I'm good. Ollie, can we catch up with you later for your fee or whatever? This looks like it's gonna be complicated. Yeah, sure. You know how to reach me. Well, Ellen, good luck. Hope you don't get in too much trouble. Yeah. Thanks, man. Chief, I'm out. Call me later. You bet, Ollie. You're the best. I'll owe you a cup of coffee. That was the case of Ollie and the Pillow Cat.